my sound balances. All right, as you can see here, we are in full, extremely low microphone input. Let me see what we got. Okay, let me increase that a bit. Mic is up to 100% now. How are we doing? Let me move the microphone a little bit closer, see if that helps. Okay, good. All right, now we're going full screen. Whoa, serious overchill is in my... Uh-oh, there we go. Okay, now we're picking up where we left off. Now you guys can see this in English, ready to go. We learned on October 10th about the incident of a girl in my university. That is the, what is it called? Lianhai Politics and Government University. Now, I don't know if the translations that I've been using will end up being the same translations that the official translators used. So we'll have to see if that works. I don't know what IFSTA is. International Foreign Student... Nope, no idea. IFSTA's report shows her death time is before the time she fell from the building, which means a corpse jumped to kill herself. How can that be possible? There must be some other explanation. I promised to help Ling Xiao with putting up the posters. Have to write that down to remind myself. Yeah, that's unrelated to the killing. This is Ling Xiao. We were gonna put up posters for the English club. Have to write that down to remind myself. I cracked some passwords to an online photo album with Xiaoyi. Yeah, Xiaoyi has this online girlfriend, and he wanted me to get into her online photo album because his online girlfriend wasn't showing any pictures of herself. That was some hardcore hacking there. All right. Am I lagging? How am I lagging? What do we got? Yo, stop. Only seeing options menu. Oh. Let's see. How could that be possible? Let's see. So when I go here, you're not seeing anything. What I may do... Yeah, I'll just put it back in windowed mode. And maybe I can stretch out the windows a bit. Yeah. I think this is how I did it before. It's been a long time since I casted this, so... Is that about right? Yeah, the windowed mode was the way to do it. I forgot that was how I did it before. Okay, now let's continue. Here we go. This is my first time actually running this in English, so we'll see how it goes. Yep. It's about the quality of Chinglish that I was expecting. We're going for random walks after breakfast. This happens. Namely, the library under construction located in... So this is where she was supposed to jump off of the thing. Cordons tied between trees can be seen from far, and apparently it is not smart to cross them directly. Yeah, clearly the speed of the text here was designed to be done character by character, right? For Chinese characters, so that's why the English is coming off extremely slowly. She must have dropped near, but now no trails or marks can be caught on the ground. Okay, let's see if I can increase the speed of the text here, because it's way too slow. No, I cannot. Great! I should try my luck to enter the building, so I'll just click to go faster. No sandworms yet, but I'm only on the second case. But just then my eyes are suddenly caught by a uniformed policeman standing at the gate and observing the building in thought. Minutes ago, I saw a police car parked near the central square. The uniform shows he's on a field mission. Bad luck for my field investigation. Maybe I should try the other day. I try to sneak out. Uh-oh.
那边那名同学。
Hey, you student over there. Yes, sir. Oh, my. Next second, I find myself freeze right there as if being pressed by some unknown power.
这里已经被警方封锁了，闲杂人等不要随便进入。
True. It was an indifferent and command-like tone, perhaps due to years of profession as a policeman. Yeah, these are Chinese state police. They don't really mess around. He looks in his 40s, who impresses me with his half-baldness and sharp eyes at me like a hawk. With right hand in the trousers pocket, he clutches something like a notebook in a left hand. I was just hanging out here. Why don't I have Duanmu Fei's voice? He's got that, like, smug voice actor. Damn it, why so nervous?
你是什么专业的？几年级？哪个班？导员是谁？
He wants to know all about me. This is where I show off that I am an extremely skilled detective student, perhaps China's greatest detective. Well, I knew he would suspect me. Calm down. The policemen in detective novels are always slow. Just regard him as an Inspector L.G. Lestrade of Scotland Yard. Come on, Chinese translators. Or Inspector Dick Gumshoe. Hey! A reference directly to the game that this one is copying. Extreme. Nice. Dick Gumshoe of the Phoenix Wright series. Yeah, good one. I actually have a Chinese colleague who worked as a policeman. I'm sure he's terrifying. Grade 2 in the major of criminal investigation. My counselor is Wang Kun. Good old Wang Kun. He's a good man. Well, behave honestly and answer the questions. That's true.
那么你的名字是？
What is my name? Well, I am China's greatest detective, Duanmu Fei. Duanmu is my family name, and Fei is for the literate talent. Don't know what that means. See, sometimes I should maybe actually be able to... What I should have is his Chinese voice actor. I don't know why I'm not getting that, because then I could have a solid idea of what he meant by the literate talent. On hearing my name and its meaning, the policeman smiles for unknown reason.
哦，这样，原来你就是那个端木匪。
Yeah, nigga Duanmu Fei. The Duanmu Fei, who is China's greatest detective. That's me. I guess so. The Duanmu Fei? Yes, I am very famous to the Criminal Investigation Unit.
你
Me?
队长，请过来一下。
Excuse me, please come and have a look. He is about to say something to me when another policeman in uniform reveals himself from the building and interrupts him.
马上来。
All right, well, bye-bye,
那
Mr.
端木匪
Policeman.
你认识照片上这个人吗？
Do I know that guy? Show me the photo, please. A photo of some CCTV clip with a nervous guy in a black hoodie. Well, let me have a look. Looks familiar. Right at this moment, I notice a 1.5-inch scar between the thumb and index finger. Now, see, that's the observant power of China's greatest detective. What a dangerous profession as a criminal policeman. That is so true. A bit familiar. I might have met that guy somewhere in the campus. Do I now have the photo in my, like, notebook here? No. The game Xiaoyi gave me as a gift and I have no time for. I'm glad this is in my inventory. Oh, IFSTA. What is that? Oh, Institute of Forensic Science and Technical Appraisal. Is affiliated with Lulpul. That must be Lianhai University of Politics and Law. Okay. It's neat to see all this stuff in English. Xiaoyi's bizarre behavior. Okay. I like how they give the surname in caps, so you know Who is this? Which one is the surname? Okay. I guess I don't get to see the picture of the guy in the hoodie, though. Right? Yeah, I was looking at the evidence. Data is just save and load the game.
知道了。
Maybe I'll just take a picture of this guy. There we go. Just want to have that just in case. You never know. You never know. He places the photo back in the coat pocket.
我要先去忙了，
All
以
right.
后不许再到现场来了，懂吗？
I don't think I'm going to listen to this guy. I think I'm going to go investigate the crimes. But I'm actually really upset that I don't have his voice actor. Did that just not download in the English version? I raise a hand and pay the standard salute to the policeman.
那端木同学，回去。
I never got his name. Doesn't he know that I have the right to have him identify himself? That's not true. I don't have any rights. This is China. Okay. I have an appointment. Maybe I should hang around for a while. Okay. English club. Now we're talking. I see no one in.
那你直接开门就行。
Just open the door. Okay, we put up all the posters for the English club. Great. See, now Duanmu has said that he's only a member of this English club in order to get the free coffee. But I guess he still has to do some club activities.
没想到还挺累的。
Ling Xiao complains, lying weak and soft on the leather-faced sofa. See, they did a lot of good animation work, but why don't they just animate stuff like this? You know, why not just draw her on the sofa? I can tell you why. It's because the background of this is just a photograph of some room that they then ran through a Photoshop filter. I shall remind you of the fact that you just escaped from all the labors by asking me to do this and that instead. Okay. All right, I have mail. I better check this. How's it going? From Liu Jin. It's getting cold. Please remember to put on more clothes for the weather between summer and fall. That is true. You have to do that. The local specialty you sent to us is safely received. The desserts taste so sweet and we like them very much. My father has just come back from a business trip to County Reishan. Okay. I did not forget about that thing you asked me to consult my father, but he was too tired from his trip. After he gets enough rest, I will ask him to pass on every piece of information to you. I don't remember what the thing was, but let's reply. I had a great time in the Golden Week. I went fishing with Grandpa in Lake Taihu. He brought about you very often. Optional. I often see you carrying the oil paper umbrella. Oh, I can change this. Come visit Suzhou again if you have the chance. Do you like fishing? I often see you carrying the oil paper umbrella with you. I'll ask her to visit Suzhou. I had worried the osmanthus sugar-fried chestnuts. See, now, if this was Tale of Wuxia, I could ask someone about the osmanthus sugar-fried chestnuts and find out which emperor liked them, but now I just have to guess at what osmanthus sugar-fried chestnuts are. It's really good that you like them every October when the osmanthus flower... Was osmanthus flower, and Ulrich is probably the only one who can answer this question, was that the flower that was in the wine that I got the question wrong in Tale of Wuxia? I think it was. Maybe osmanthus flowers are quite a common thing in Chinese cuisine, or Chinese sweets. Like gorgon fruits, osmanthus jelly, osmanthus sugar. Are you drooling now? By that thing, you mean how Li Han got access to that kind of drug, right? Yeah, I remember that case. Please tell me every detail. I almost forgot if you didn't remind me. I'll do that when it's less forceful. Yes, about the weather, it's cold, and you also need to put on more. Also, Makoto Nitsu's new movie will be on cinema soon. Optional. I don't know why, but 2 movie tickets magically appears in my hands. Watch it with me! Exclamation point. Who do you plan to enjoy the movie with? I'll be more forceful with this one. Watch it with me! Exclamation point. That's how you secure a date with an extremely shy, probably marginally autistic girl. No, you know what? I'm going to do the magic one. Now that I say it out loud. I heard it's a good movie. See you tomorrow. Send it. Okay, great. That is how we do stuff. Here, let's see what's in here. This is like a Facebook thing. See, I never had the patience to translate through all this stuff in Chinese, so now I'm sort of getting a look at it. I guess Duanmu Fei is Pingjiang Fox. That's his thing. Okay, this is looking good. What does it say? No glyph? Great. Good localization. What the heck is Cinderella Fei? Alright. This is actually still not very interesting in English. Alright, back to this. I get myself a cup of coffee.
喂，你，给我倒杯柠檬汁，加些冰块进去。
Hey, you? Yeah, what's going on here? I deserve better than hey, you. I'm China's greatest detective. Still do it because I'm still a bitch, I guess. Here's your lemonade made by Master Duanmu. Enjoy it with a heart full of gratitude. Look at this background. That's a really blurry filter. I suddenly notice a male sitting by the window. I instinctively puff out my chest to make myself look larger and scare him. This guy actually looks kind of spooky. Middle-aged, reading a thick English version book with a solemn face. By his feet lies a toolkit with the brand name Craftman. Whew, this guy's serious. He has tools. Wait a moment. Isn't he Professor Law? Well, the Professor Law? See, I just had this discussion yesterday. I think it was with, what's his name? Is it Xiao Yi, who's like really into Dota? About how Professor Law is like the biggest genius of forensic science. I try hard to control my voice from running out of the throat and look onto Ling Xiao in confusion.
张教授上个月休产假回家了，这个学期本社团的指导老师由罗教授暂时担任。你真的是一点都不关心社团的事情。
Very interesting that... Oh, right. Professor Zhang, I assume, is a woman, and that's why she's on maternity leave. I don't think they give a paternity leave for men in China. But it's true that forensic science and English are different in many ways, isn't it? I believe so. Our existence happens to draw Professor Law's attention.
你怎么能从学科上找到联系呢，端木同学？
No? Yes? Good afternoon, Professor Law.
怎么，端木，对英语也感兴趣啊？
I guess. Yes. No. Yes. I love English so much. A love exclusive for the culture of detective literature. I can feel the cold stare from Ling Xiao in front of me. Professor, what has brought you to the position of instructor of the English club?
这个，小张嘛，正好就是我邻居，被他拜托了。
Okay. That's a good reason. Guess the Xiao Zhang indicates that Professor Zhang, the former instructor of the English club. I seldom met her before. Yeah, I guess Xiao here is supposed to be like little, and that's diminutive, so that's why it's before Zhang. It's not her given name. It's just him saying like, Little Zhang, Zhang Yi, my buddy Zhang.
我想偶尔也要从实验室走出来，和学生多接触接触。机会难得，而且你们大三要修的刑事司法专业英语也是由我授课的。
Wow, I did not know that. That is fascinating. But this guy does not seem interested in talking to me at all. That is the most monotone voice I've ever heard.
那就好。 我
Huh.
还以为我的学生怀疑我的英语不够资格呢。
No. You're great at English, presumably.
林副部长也在的话，那我差不多可以公开这周谜题的答案了吧？
Oh, okay. Vice Chairwoman Ling? When did you become Vice Chairwoman, Ling Xiao?
很早之前就是了。你该不会现在才知道吧？你真的是我们协会的吗？
I had no idea. I mean, I had been told.
教授，你就别管那个幽灵社员了。那个题目到目前为止都还没有人提交答案，我想可以公布答案了。
Okay.
而且，下次的题目还是降低难度好一些。
是吗？ 的确有点难度，为难你们了。
Okay, before he gives the answer, I want to take another look at this thing. What was the... Here's the puzzle of the week. The answer is a 4-letter word, tips -1. It's probably just a cipher, right? You just do like backwards 1, so it's like N, D, X, no, wait. There's no vowels in it. Oh, there are some vowels. -1. Yeah, I'm not a professional code breaker. I thought maybe I could figure it out, because I'm pretty good at English. Better than this guy, but... Alright, what's the answer? Wait! No doubt, it is too hard for your tiny brain to do this kind of deduction, Ling Xiao. On hearing my words, Ling Xiao pulls a face immediately, which, though pretty, is now clouded with unpleasantness. It's just terrible when pretty girls cloud their face with unpleasantness.
你不想留在阴血了？
Go ahead, goth girl. So that the English club would lose the only person to work out the puzzle of the week. Oh, shit. I have to actually, figure out the cipher. Alright, I take a sip of the coffee latte on the table as the flavor of caramel is fully savored within my mouth. My brain speeds up.
好吧，端木少爷，你说出你的答案。只不过，如果你就向部长提交你的退社申请书，你看如何？
What? How could one live a life without coffee and jazz? It would be nothing but dull. Yeah, that is so true. Screenshot that. However, she has left me with no other choice. Oh, okay. Well, but if my answer is correct, I would like to have 2 kinds of new coffee. Namely, Kona Fancy and Espresso added to the coffee menu. Hold on, I got an email. I gotta check this. From New Jin. Dear Duanmu Fei, the autumn scenery in the south of the Yangtze River is truly fascinating. I wish I could visit Suzhou, but I don't want to bring any trouble to you. I've heard that sweet osmanthus is preferred by the people in Wu region, and now I know why. Now that I learned so many dessert names, I have become very curious of them. Please take the responsibility to show them to me if it's not too much trouble. Also, I am very sorry, but I think we should keep our hands off Li Han's case, though I know you are deeply concerned about it. I've heard about Makoto Nisu, who is a very famous Japanese animation director. It's rare that his movie is imported and released. I see. Let's watch it together. Yes! Scored. Okay, back to this. Wait, did I have to reply? Is there a reply button? No. Duanmu Fei doesn't reply.
当然，不。如果学校那里也没问题的话。
Ling Xiao glances at Professor.
有意思，没事，学校那里我去说就行。端木飞，说说你的看法吧。
All right, let's see what we can do. Before I start my deduction, I would like to propose a toast to the Queen's health. Cheers. Okay. What Queen? All right. Oh shit. Okay. Time for this. Let's calm down and analyze this. As the puzzle of the week, it should be a puzzle after all. But it just looks like a secret code. Yeah, I think it's just a cipher. Yeah, deciphering the result. I was wrong about this yesterday. Yes. I took down something that I could use as a hint in my notes. Who's Zach? The double slash usually stands for the start of a comment line in programming languages. Any text after the double slash will be ignored by the compiler, so the text after this double slash must be the hint and not part of the secret code itself. The key is a 4-letter word. Hint -1. What does that mean? Is there anything that needs my attention? The 2 capitalized letters. The annotation. Let's figure out the annotation. The double slash usually stands for the comment line in programming. Wait, did I say programming language? Programming. So every letter can be converted into some code. For example, in Unicode encoding system, Njihyo can become 78, 106, 101, okay, who cares? So maybe we can solve in another way. All right, 2 capitalized letters. Yeah, I don't know Deadly Premonition. Only 2 of the letters are in uppercase. The rest are lowercase. What are these for? Let's try acting as punctuation. In English, the initial letter of the first word in every sentence should be in uppercase. This is true. I can confirm this for Duanmu. So, I think there should be a comma after the letter X, and the string could be separated into 2 sentences at the letter X. Oh, is that true? And then maybe it's not just Phoenix Wright they ripped off, also Deadly Premonition, because of coffee and revealing secrets. Let's try something else. Now, let's stay focused on the capital letters. Right. Let's make sense of NX. Maybe when the 2 letters NX meet each other, it means something. No. 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 Okay. Emphasizing. Shibu looks like Chinese pinyin. Anything that sounds like Shibu could be the west, the knee, the small part. Anyway, this won't work. Let's try something else. I guess back to annotation. Oh, yeah, right. We've been through this. Oops. So I thought it's punctuation, right? Oh, -1. I missed that. Thank you, Refin. I didn't even notice that. -1 mean that every value should be decreased by 1. Yes, that is true. And when we converted the process numbers back into letters, we get midnight. Okay? Ahaha, midnight. I'm a genius. The plain code is... Yep. Maybe I don't need to convert them based on Unicode ending. Maybe I can just use their alphabet. So does Duanmu just memorize the entire Unicode alphabet? I mean, I'm not so good with computer language stuff, so maybe that's easy, but it sounds difficult to me. The encrypted code is... Oh, I see, right, so you just take it back. So M-I-D-N-I-G-H-T. So C, what's before P? Element O, com, E, midnight comes... what's before X? T-U-V-W. What's before I? H. A-T. Midnight comes what? W-H. W-I. Midnight comes... will... Yeah, I can just type this out. Let's do that. That'll make it easier. Midnight comes... what will X... wait. Y-O-U... L-O... What's before T? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S. Midnight comes, what will you lose? Is that right? Let me guess. The plain code is midnight comes, what will you lose? No, wait, something is wrong. If we process the second word, we can get comes. That's what I did. Midnight comes, W-H-A-T, W-I-L-L-Y-O-U-L-O-S-E, right? E-F. Right? That's what I wrote. What's wrong? Oh, I need to uppercase it. God damn it. Crack it. Yes, we crack the case. It is very easy.
哦，果然经过了2层加密啊！ 这一下就是单纯的 logo grief 而已了。怎么样，端木？你知道谜底吗
？Wait, hereby it is a mere logogryph. Do I know the answer? Actually, an Italian movie I watched long before just popped into my head.
什么？
If on a midnight train, a traveler, right? Is that Italo Calvino? There was a riddle in the movie. Say my name and I disappear. Can you come up with the answer? It is silence, by the way.
所以呢？
So then, it is the same with Professor's puzzle. The answer should be something intangible. Tell Ling Xiao the correct answer. What will you lose? The key to the puzzle is a 4-letter English word. So when midnight comes, what will you lose? I would guess it's a day, but is it time? Let's try time. Think otherwise, and you will figure out what is growing all the way before midnight. That is time. Yeah, take that. I'm a genius, puzzle genius. Let me put it this way, Ling Xiao. Look at the clock on the wall, and you will understand. I pointed the wood clock on the opposite wall, which is painted in brown, a color that I like. For example, the number of the clock, when you think of it in a 24-hour format, now reads as 15:15, and it will grow all the way to 23:59. But the next second, it would turn to 0, which means we've lost all the time of yesterday. Wisdom.
答对了。
Yes, I am China's greatest detective. Been here all along.
哦，的确是没想到的答案。端木少爷，你挺厉害的，不是吗？
That is true.
不过夸奖可就到此为止了，不然你又得……那个成语怎么说来着？山鸡映水。
Like a proud pheasant dancing all day against its pretty reflection in water till death. It's the story of Sisyphus, but the Chinese version. Your words cannot conceal your tension, am I correct? What if my beloved master Duanmu quitted the club and left me alone due to one single failure to solve the puzzle? What else could I do? You must have worried so minutes ago.
你可真敢说！
How dare you?
林霄，刚刚端木匪想题目的时候，你的表情看上去的确像是在担心他，不是吗？
Oh, that's a little bit too tsundere for me. I can't handle this.
那一定是您看错了。
Tsundere is a Japanese concept, but like basically everything in Japan, it originally comes out of ancient China. Ling Xiao stands up to get the minute book of the English club, her face turning all red for no
我去把咖啡
reason.
的事情记下来，一会儿就回来。
那么你觉得我出的题目怎么样？
Your puzzle was garbage. Too easy for me. Master puzzle solver, Duanmu Fei. I regret the moment I said, how can a student talk to his professor like that? Well, by being China's greatest detective. I'm sorry, the caffeine makes your student talk nonsense.
毕竟老师也不是雷顿教授，不过看来下次我应该加大难度才是。
Okay. This is my professor. Your generosity overshadows Ling Xiao's narrow... Why is he so hard on poor Ling Xiao? Jesus. It would be but pleasant to solve some more difficult puzzles. The ones with dancing men figures or gold bugs likewise would be most favored? Okay.
天哪，教授您可千万别听端木匪胡说。
Obviously, Ling Xiao overheard our dialogue when searching for the minute book. My glass is empty. I get another can of coffee out of my bag and pull the tab off.
看来端木匪你挺喜欢喝咖啡的，随身都带这么多罐。
Yeah, I guess they were Sherlock Holmes references. I have not actually read Sherlock Holmes books, though. Not like Duanmu Fei, China's greatest detective. No. On the contrary, my sensitivity to caffeine is beneath average level. In order to keep my mind sharp, I would have to take cans of coffee, while others take one. Hence, it is nothing special for me to carry cans of coffee in bag.
是吗？
Very true.
但是咖啡因摄取过量会造成神经紧张，还有高血压。不过像你这样的年纪，一般患病可能性比较低。
Yeah, see, I'm glad someone is finally taking Duanmu Fei aside and talking to him about the risks of caffeine poisoning. It is serious.
不一定哦。
I mean, we laugh,
你
but
看端木匪那聒噪的样子，
he needs to do something about his diet. I take a look at the coffee in hand. Since Ling Xiao worries about my health, I should probably pay more attention to it after all. While laying the coffee can on the table, I catch sight of Professor Law's toolkit. Professor, what's going on there?
差不多，就是那些东西。
Okay. Really? So you're doing like
不用那么惊讶。
handyman work.
凶器可是破案的关键线索。
Usually the murder weapon is the crucial lead in solving a case. Okay. Professor Law nods, reaches to his toolkit, and unzips it. Ling Xiao and I lean forward for a close look. Oh my goodness! Tildes! Did you see these? What a dazzling collection! New item found. Let's take a look at the new item. No, this is item. Toolkit. The craftsman bag. Nice. Tools or weapons for criminal purposes. Okay. There are hammers, spanners, screwdrivers, and some other unfamiliar tools, as well as kitchen knives, spoons, a bottle of fruit vinegar, gauze rolls, and even a conch shell. I guess this is what he teaches in his forensic science class, and is like, look, these are all things you can kill people with. Are these all murder weapons?
教授，您简直是一个移动的凶器库。
A moving warehouse of murder weapons. That's also how I often describe Ulrich. Ling Xiao goggles in shock. What is the verb to goggle? I actually do not know that. But,
大多数谋杀只不过是场偶遇，凶手并没有那么多时间去挑选他们的工具。
True, true. We all know that. Professor takes a bottle of fruit vinegar out of the toolkit.
我的意思是，如果他们是一时兴起想到杀人，手边任何东西都能成为凶器。
Yes, we know that.
上个月某个被害人额头的伤痕和这个瓶子末端形状如果吻合的话，那么那场案子基本就能定调了。类似这样的案例，我上学期在法医学基础的课堂上讲过。端木匪，你应该记得。刑法学的话，应该会在下学期开这课吧。
You must remember that. Okay. So we've all learned about murder weapons. Great. But the truth is that I forgot every bit of it. What was that all about? I wasn't really.
我的实验室里还有很多这些类似的东西。每隔一段时间，我都会上街去买一些对前段时间刑事案件尸检有帮助的工具。
Yep.
所以教授，您刚刚采购回来。
So you just finished shopping for murder weapons.
是的，顺路来这个咖啡厅休息一下。
Here, isn't it an activity room? Talking about the recent criminal cases, have you also included the case of the student jumping on the 7th this month? Did he buy a building, maybe? Because apparently buildings are murder weapons? Ling Xiao raises her brow, as if I have said something improper.
这个，刑警大队那里对我们相关人员都下达了检口令。端木匪，你既然是侦查学专业的，应该也是明白的吧？
Yeah, see, I don't really operate on the same rules as the rest of China. I just kind of do my own thing, and that's what makes me China's greatest detective. Because really, I mean, really.
不过，端木匪，你应该不算无关人士吧？
Not a pure outsider, really? What does that mean?
你一定要知道的话，我可以和你说说，不涉及到核心的内容。当然，你得保证不会和其他人说起。
Okay, all right. Tell me
那么
all the details. Ling Xiao lays the glass of finished lemonade back to the bar counter.
我就在书架后面的单间看书，你们结束了告诉我一声就好。
Okay. Ling Xiao is always discreet. That's what I appreciate. It's really important to have a good friend who can keep the details of your criminal cases secret. All right, Professor, let's get down to the case.
尸检被发现的时间是早上6点左右。第一发现者是2名受雇于学校的保洁工人。发现尸体之后，他们便迅速报了警。
See, we already know about this. We heard all of these details before, so this is nothing special.
没错，因为他们发现的是尸体。
Because what they found was a dead body. Just some important Twitch chat to get to there. All right. Yes. So, this is still an issue that when Kongqing jumped off the roof of the library, she was apparently already dead. Kongqing had died before she jumped.
大概已经死了3个小时左右，大概是凌晨3点吧。
So it goes. Wait a minute, 3 hours? So she was already dead 3 hours and then someone threw her body off the thing? Death marks the end of a conscious thinking, and a dead man can never jump off a building on his own will, unless he's what we call a jiangshi. See, jiangshi is sometimes called a Chinese vampire. It's a kind of hopping Chinese zombie. And as they have a predilection towards hopping, they may very well hop off of the building. That's how I think we're going to solve this case. Let's see if China's greatest detective comes to the same conclusion. Unless my brain echoes with Ling Xiao's words. Therefore, the body must have been haunted by a ghost. Yes! Yes!
端木匪，
Genius.
你相信已经死去的人能够再次行动吗？
We all know that this is entirely possible. Of course not. No. I don't think so.
很好。
But
那么
actually,
我们接下来的推理就是建立在这个前提之上，可以。
I still think it's zombies. 僵尸. First, we both agree that a dead body won't jump off a building by itself. She must be pushed forward by some external force, such as a catapult.
想法不错，但是那是不可能。
So why... Yeah, okay, the library's under construction, so there are security bars over every window to the building, which leaves only the front gate. That means if we assume that there was somebody who had shoved the body, this person must have entered the building by the front door and would have been witnessed by others. So, what if it's one of the construction people or the cleaners?
这下至少能排除是有人推他下去的可能性了吧？
Does it? Okay. Are you sure that no one shoved the body off? I take another sip of coffee. Well, Professor, may I ask about the conditions of the body?
尸体呈仰卧状，头部朝向西北方向，腿部多处骨折，下颚有2条条形创裂，脑组织外溢半点状出血。
These are all important medical details that I don't fully understand, but okay. Professor gives a professional description, which I can only understand half of. Okay, I am right in sync with Duanmu. I'm really getting into the role-playing spirit here. Wait a moment. Not sure whether he was hiding something intentionally or not, but he obviously skipped. What did she look like on the face? The professor's
尸体的颜面青紫，皮肤和眼结膜处有血点，嘴巴微张，舌头向前突出。
Cyanotic with conjunctiva. Okay. Wait, if the clues are leading in another direction. Is there a cat meowing at me? This is a very serious moment, cat. Please leave me alone. Shut up. God damn it. Ulrich, this happens to you all the time, too, on your stream, I know. Choked to death, huh? The cause of death. The face of the dead body is somehow strange. What can we know about this? Bluish or purplish discoloration of the skin or mucous membranes due to tissues. Yeah. Thank you for Wikipediaing that. The cause of death. She had died 3 hours before the falling. Thus, obviously, the falling did not cause her death. According to his description, I guess the real cause of death turns out to be that falling from a very high place. Professor, was Kongqing strangled to death?
没错，孔琴的死因就是窒息死亡。
Whoa, asphyxia. I knew it. Being hanged or being strangled. Would you please tell me which the real cause was?
勒死。
Lace? Oh, shit. If so, the analysis should start from another base. I can take a sip of coffee. So, in case of a murder, the murderer would have to run away 3 hours ago before the 2 witnesses found the body. So, I've got it. I shouted out loud with excitement. The body was hanging on the rooftop through a typical device, which could automatically release her after 3 hours. It is exactly what Geyer said. Maybe she's China's greatest detective. Hands crossed under his chin, the professor
假如
smiles
是
and
那样的
speaks.
话，你所说的某种装置应该会在顶楼才对。警察搜索时并没有发现这样的东西。
A typical device. Yeah, sure. Ice. It was ice block. Oh, jeez. We're back to May. See, May is behind all of this. She was behind the first case, right? Do we still have a picture of that character from who was the culprit in the first case who looks exactly like May? And now we've got ice blocks going through the first thing. Yeah, no, we don't have a picture of her. A common pattern of detective fiction is to freeze the curled rope with some ice. After it melts, it will... Oh my. It's hard to make it clear through words. I wish I could draw it.
那么那个冰块的体积可不小，毕竟要支撑一个尸体的重量，对吧？
The weight of the whole body was on it. No, we know that May can make some serious ice. Or maybe there would be something else to replace the ice, but chemistry is not really my strength.
好了，别想那么多。警察没有找到的不仅仅是冰块。
Water?
连绳子也没有找到。很显然，凶器被犯人带走了。
What did I just get in my notebook? I didn't even notice what that was. Oh, the missing rope. The murder weapon that the killer used to choke Kongqing. It's nowhere to be found in the crime scene. Damn it. They use licorice rope and eat the evidence afterwards. You really have a mind for murder, Ulver. Oh my goodness, then I'm totally lost.
再好好想想，你可是我引以为傲的学生啊。
He has faith on me, so can't let his faith down. You got your own theory on the case?
谁知道呢？直接听答案很没意思，你不这么觉得吗？想要正确解答的话，需要用上法医学知识，不过是非常基础的。端木匪，你的成绩我记得是97分，这样的问题对于你来说应该不在话下。
It would be very unfortunate if the answer was in those 3 points that I apparently missed in my last exam. I am so moved but embarrassed by his words. You humble me, teacher.
试着想象你就是死者，想象凶手拿着凶器把你杀死的那个瞬间。
I don't really want to imagine that. That's kind of scary. Imagine I were the victim. Okay. Nope, that's very loud in my ears. I should be on a rooftop now. If someone is going to kill me, where can he be? This may be when I unlock my chi, so let's focus. Behind me, ahead of me, or attack me from above. Alright, I am to be strangled, and the murderer could only approach from behind with the rope. After that, I feel my throat being squeezed by a blunt force and my consciousness fading away. What the pain! I am trying hard to let out the voice and yell out loud, but I cannot make it. Tears well out and run down my face. My hands reach to my throat instinctively. Wait. What do I want to catch? Obviously, I want to catch the rope, right? I want to pull that away from my throat, right? I'm going to go with the rope. That's right. My nature drives me to hold the rope to lessen the pressure on my throat. Rope, forensic science, loss of some force. There it is. I think I know now. My consciousness goes back to the club room, and I find Professor Law. My imaginary experience once again convinces me that nobody has the right to take away another's life. I'm glad that we settled that. So, core lesson of the game, murder is bad. Moving on. Cadaveric spasm. Professor loses his smile on hearing the words. Before her death, Kongqing was grasping the rope to ease the pressure on his throat, but the moment she lost her consciousness, rigor mortis sets in. The killer tied the rope, which the body gripped tight to the railing on the rooftop, and... What? What makes her lose the external force that had kept her from falling? The sun is setting. Is that right, Professor?
很好，听起来很不可思议。你的说法 的确正是现有状况的合理解释之一。
So was she like rigor mortis holding onto a railing or something? Is that what he's saying? I'm not getting it. Sounds like the plot of a detective film.
现实偶尔会发生出乎意料的事情，不是吗？
So,
那么我们进入下一个阶段吧。
Phase 2. Do you mean to identify the murderer? Yeah, like what's the motive here?
不，
What's going
不
on
是，
here?
请你先思考一下你的推理与现实情况的矛盾。
Inconsistencies. Did he mean to say... What is the inconsistency between the deduction that the victim was griping on the rope as a dead body and the real situation? Is that the rope is missing? Or is it that I have a video game in my pocket? What was the news about the theft? Two-man team aims at the newspaper. Yeah, it's the missing rope. If the body was hung in the railing with hands gripping the rope, the police would definitely have found the rope. But the fact that you told me is just the opposite.
当然是建立在我说的全部都是真实情况的前提之上了。
Wasn't it?
至少我能保证我说的全部都是真话。
So there were lies in the story. Why did the rope disappear? It's really confusing. Let's see. The rope should have disappeared at... Well, it must have disappeared before the body fell. And the murderer hung her from it. Right, so... Yeah, because the rope was like holding her up. The dead was gripping something else, not the rope. Which means the rope disappeared before she fell. The marks on her neck are the strangulation marks made by rope.
应该是那种随处可见的细麻绳捆绑在一起，日常杂货店都能买到。
Then, as the murder weapon, the rope was gone after the body fell off. But it brings another question. If somebody wanted to leave the building after the falling, whoever took away the rope had to walk past the two witnesses at the front gate. However, the two witnesses said they saw nobody, which means the murderer was still in the building. But then the rope was missing anyway. In this situation, we can classify it as a locked room mystery. Okay. What was going on then? The layers are the two witnesses who watched Kong Ching fall, aren't they? Is this supposed to be liars? Is he saying that the witnesses are liars? According to the witnesses, when they were cleaning somewhere near, they saw the victim jumping from the rooftop, which is inconsistent with my analysis.
那么为什么会产生这样的矛盾呢？我的猜测就是，他们位于那样的处境下，不得不说谎。
Maybe they weren't doing their jobs, right? They were like off goofing around, and then they just came and found an already collapsed body. Their own
搞不
situation.
好你的手上就有揭示这个矛盾的证据。
In my hand, the pad, there are evidences leading to the truth right in this pad. That is, video game. It all comes down to the game that Xiao Yi gave me as a gift. No. Alright. What you indicated is probably evidence. Oh,
想要说服别人，
yeah, let me try again. Okay. A two-man team aims at the construction... They're both construction workers. I guess it's this? Yeah. We can only assume that they provided false testimony. Read this. News of the building material theft. I believe the two thieves in the news were part of a larger criminal group. Now please allow me to suspect that the two cleaners on their identities who turned out to be criminals of the building material theft too. It would be so reasonable if we think in this way. In the name of the cleaners, they could easily get in and out of our campus and know the environment in advance. See, this is all one of those plots of corrupt Chinese officials making concrete buildings that are not reinforced and then just completely collapse in any earthquake situation. Yeah, we've seen this scam a million times. Meanwhile, a construction building. Actually, when the dead fell off the building, they were just... Where were they? Maybe they were in the building stealing crap. because the two victims were inside the building.
是的，比起编造保洁人员为什么会跑到施工楼层内部的理由，直接说错目击地点。
I'm such a genius. Because for them, what is this? Cuz? Okay. For them, the first priority is to conceal their own
正是
crime.
如此。
At that moment, they were just staring by the window and happened to see the body fall. Having noticed something was going wrong, they ran up to the window and looked down on the
他们
ground,
或许还讨论了应对的方法。
which just offered the chance for the killer to escape. At that time, there were no eyewitnesses standing by the front gate, which allowed the murderer to get away. Could also explain how the rope disappeared. This must be the correct answer.
很好，端木匪。接下来我们还有最后一个问题，知道是什么吗？
No, what is it? You want to ask who was the murderer?
刑警大队在栏杆附近检测到了指纹，还有绳子烧过的痕迹。很遗憾的是，在指纹库里并不存在那个指纹的备案。
Thus, I think the murderer may be a
可
student.
能性很大。总之，比对指纹应该是非常庞大的工作量，但是那个留下的指纹是非常关键的信息。
Please find out the murderer and arrest him. Good thinking, Duanmu. That is what we should do. Find the murderer and arrest him. Only the greatest detective in China would think of that. The cell phone of the professor
喂，
rings.
是的。好，我马上去。有一件事要去处理，我们回頭見吧。
I wave goodbye to Professor. Watch him turn back to carry his toolkit. Okay. I take a glance of where Ling Xiao is seated. She is reading in the silence with a thick book placed on her laps. You know, I think Geyer is actually correct. I'm pretty sure it was my Dota-loving roommate who for some reason killed that girl, maybe because she's his online girlfriend. And then we're going to find his fingerprints on the video game he gave me, and they're going to compare it, and then he's going to get arrested. Then I'm going to be sad, but then probably happy because I finally get my own room.
结束了。
Yes. She picked Chen. No one plays Chen. Come on. She reseats herself in front of me. The exclusive Ling Xiao throne of the English Club. The steaming engine of my brain begins to cool down. Okay. I think I'm a little sleepy. It should all be attributed to the sequence of deductions minutes ago. I would like to take a nap.
孔晴自杀的动机是什么？有考虑吗？
I don't care about motives. Ling Xiao still knows nothing about the truth that Kongqing's case was actually not a suicide. Yeah, she's like the crazy girl who thinks it's zombies. That's just
那我们
ridiculous.
不说孔晴了，说说看，对自杀者来说，具有普遍意义的动机怎么样？
Yeah, this sounds like a great way to relax and unwind. Oh boy. Let's just discuss why people commit suicide.
就像你说的，既然有压力，肯定会有施加方的存在，他们才是应当对自杀的人负责的首要谴责方。
Yes. I think that we should start arresting people for causing the suicides of others. It sounds like a great way for our totalitarian state to operate. That's extra. Like the school teachers being strict to their students. I don't think they are pressuring others out of evil minds. However, it would be a great way. Yeah, I did actually hear that there was recently a Supreme Court. Was it Supreme Court? Yeah, that someone ruled that, like, a teenager telling a kid to kill himself was, like, arrested on involuntary manslaughter, yeah. Apropos. And we're not even an authoritarian state, but that would be a great way to get rid of political opponents. Have someone near them commit suicide and then arrest them for murder. This is genius. Genius game. Ling Xiao flips one page of the book.
可别搞错了，我并没有对他们的施压行为本身进行批判，而是对他们的存在本身进行批判。
Okay.
权威性。
What do you mean?
所有自杀者想要杀死的人，其实并不是自己，而是杀死让他产生自杀念头的那个人。这么说你能明白吗？
Okay. So far, yes.
但正因为无论如何都没有办法杀死那个人，所以向外的杀念转而向内部。自杀者凭借攻击自己来平息自己杀人的欲望，或者说是本能。
Okay.
就拿你说的高校老师举例吧，因为高校的老师具有某种权威性，所以将那个老师投影到了自己身上。刚刚我说了投影对吧？
Okay.
我希望尽量不让我的解释染上心理学的色彩，最好对你来说是能易于理解的。倘若不能，就成了我一个人的自我宣泄了。
What is the purpose of all of this? Ling Xiao smiles with a shrug. I mean,
向内部投
we know
影
it's
是
not
一
even a
个，
suicide.
向外部投影也有。例如，某些人将对上级的仇恨投影到比自己弱小的人身上。比如去年某市校门口发生的无差别学生被害事件，你记得的吧？
Yes, I remember. X City. Tragedy that will never escape our minds. Never forget X City. But don't you see the laws cannot rule someone guilty on that?
不要总想着彰显正义什么的，法律并非是为此而存在的。
Ooh, now we're getting deep. Laws are not made to serve the justice. What are they made for? If the legal system couldn't achieve justice, what would be the meaning of laws?
法律生烂应该为逻辑服务，这一点你难道不明白吗？
Laws are made to serve logics? I thought they're made to serve the Communist Party, who created the new China for us. Suicides are not always committed under the influence of an pressure. Okay. How do you explain the suicides of depression patients?
那个稍微的复杂一些。
Ling Xiao closes
简
the
单的
book.
说，人类存在生存的欲望，但是也存在死亡的欲望。
Okay. Sometimes people commit suicide just because they want to die. Right? Yes.
创造即意味着毁灭，然后在废墟的基础上衍生出新的东西。你小时候堆过雪人吗？雪人堆完以后，你有把它毁坏吗？如果我让你告诉我毁坏它的理由，
Maybe I just hated to see them
刚
melt
刚那个例
away.
子，其实和破坏搭完的积木、炸毁我的世界游戏中的房屋一样，破坏和摧毁也是人的本能。幼时的大脑没办法保持理性，将欲望完全展露出来是很正常的事情。
Yes, clearly Minecraft is what this is all about at the end of the day. I've heard that before. What you said is the death drive in the Freudian psychoanalytic theory, from death instincts and life instincts.
是的，既然你也知道，我就不必多。
Yes, we all understand Freudian theory. Whatever death drive or libidos are, they cannot be presented as evidences in court. Is the theory accepted in your criminal law system?
当然不接受。
You are more frank than I thought.
法律能够到的事情也是有限的。好了，刚刚我们提到了施压方，还有自杀者本人的罪行。
How about
接下来再来谈谈自杀场所怎么样？
on suicide spot? What does that even mean?
比如交通事故多发带，有这么一说吧？
Yeah, Ling Xiao, you're not getting laid with this
倘若是多雾
topic.
或者地势险峻的地带，成为交通事故多发地点很正常。但是一个平坦的地方，仍然也有成为交通事故多发地的可
What are
能性
you。talking about? Actually, along driving on plain roads makes drivers really sleepy, and it will only be marked as accident-prone area if lots of accidents take place there. Are you trying to distort the casualty here? Causality. Is that causality? Yeah, causality.
不对哦，既然有事故多发地点的标志牌，看到标志以后，人们不更应该小心谨慎的驾驶，而避开可能发生的事故？实际上，事故仍然会发生，不是吗？比如说美国的金门大桥，
Yeah, lots of people kill
从
themselves
1937
there.
年贯通以来，已经有1200多人在那所桥上跳海自杀。一些原本不抱有自杀欲望的人，也会受一股莫名的力量驱使而越过栏杆。
This is just her getting into her supernatural garbage. People who did not intend to kill themselves may also be driven to crime. What?
换句话说，死亡的欲望也是会传染的。
The desire for death can be contagious. Here comes the hypothesis of morphogenic fields. Morphogenetic field. It is clear that no such incidents had happened before Kongqing's falling. If similar cases had occurred before, definitely it would not have resulted from some contagious factors of suicide drive. No, it's too ridiculous.
如果你这样想的话，假如之后在相同的地点又发生了跳楼事件，亦或者发生了类似的惨案，不也可以证实我的说法吗？
What is going on here? She looks at me with her head tilted to one side. I know she meant no offense, but somehow her words made me uncomfortable. Yeah, her words are making me kind of uncomfortable too. I wanna
如果我
get
的话
past
让你
this.
感到生气了，我表示抱歉。
Okay, yes, please apologize to me because I was just over here to enjoy some coffee and maybe take a nap. Something just occurred to me. Why did the murderer hang the body on the rooftop to let it fall off if they had already killed Kongqing? Well, obviously to make it look like a suicide, right? It's the least professional way to create an alibi like this since there were too many probably variables on the spot. But what if the killer chose to do that? What motivated them to let the body fall off? It's just the way we wished to do so. Unreasonable as it may sound, for the murderer, it could just be a ritual, or rather a preference of falling? Yeah, I don't know what morphogenetic fields are. Someone in Twitch chat quickly Wikipedia that for me, because it might mean something. But is it okay to make that assumption? Did the killer do all these just in order to create a scene of her falling to death? If I were the killer, I had already completed my mission after strangling her. There would have been no need to do extra things. The criminal may be in a psychological disorder. Just need to take a little nap. But if I thought as a killer thought, what would happen to me? So inform me when it is dinner time. By then, good night.
睡吧。
In the developmental biology of the early 20th century, a morphogenetic field is a group of cells able to respond to discrete localized biochemical signals leading to the development of specific morphological structures or organs. I think I like Jair's explanation that it's an unconscious telepathic field. Yeah, so it's just like all of the human consciousnesses go together and make people want to kill themselves. I guess I could see that. I soon fall into a sound sleep. Okay. That's a scene from my dream, the disgusting, despairing sound of rain. I raised my head to look at the setting sun. That sound rain had never stopped in these 3 decades. It's all the same today. There's a human being? The dose seems to be really suitable this time. The bag on my shoulder. I tried to hold back my ecstasy and watched my steps on the way to the rooftop. I especially pay attention to avoid the bag's contact with walls or stair railings. I don't want the contents of the bag. While the owner can't move a bit because of the drug I used. I'm sorry, this is all because of the dream. So he has a dream of like moving a corpse or a drugged body. All I want to do is toss her down the building as is. She will die on the site with her head down, but I can't see her eyes that way, and I want to enjoy the expression while she falls. Make her kneel at the edge of the rooftop. She trembles. Did you hear that? The sound of the rain? The height is appropriate. It only hurts for a moment. You don't need to worry. Why do they always have to make such ugly faces before they die? So this sounds like it's a serial killer, right? That he's killed before. Not just someone who got angry over a game of Dota. Like we all do from time to time. I slightly push her off the edge of the rooftop. In this precious moment, I capture her shocked, despaired face in my sight. Maybe he's a psychic, who knows? We do know that he's China's greatest detective. I immediately put on my lab coat and hurry to the crime scene.
罗教授，
尸体在哪儿？
Now I'm Professor Luo.
就在那栋施工建筑下方。
I head to that direction that Chen just showed me, putting my gloves on the go.
哦，老罗来了。
I think there's a sandworm over here on the left. It says 一人为本，科学管理. It means use people as the base of scientific management. Okay. Oh Lord, it's you, Captain Lui. Lui? Is that actually a Chinese name? Lui? I've never heard that before. Captain Lui greets me by the
刘
side
队
of
长
the gruesome body.
吃过晚饭了吗？
Oh, it's Leo. Okay. It was a typo. That's why that was not a familiar name. Liu. Liu is a pretty common name. Captain Liu, have you had your supper? I greet him back while I examine the body's eyes with my flashlight. She is very dead. That is an important distinction to make in forensic science, is to make sure that someone is very dead or only slightly dead.
没呢，刚准备帮老婆盛饭就被叫过来了。看这尸体，估计晚上也没心情再吃什么东西了。
Ah, poor Liu Zhengqing. No
这
dinner.
次摔得真够惨的。
Her brains dash out, limbs twisting in an impossible way. Squat to examine the high
这次的
falling
直接死因应该就是高处坠落。
Yep. Should be
这
high
个醉
falling.
云皮似乎不太希望我们刑警队闲着。这都已经是这个月第2起了。
So he's the high falling manic again. Strikes again. The high falling manic. He's a vicious murderer. We call him by that name because of their obsession that they kill their victim all by tossing them off from high.
是的，合起来已经是第5起了吧？看样子应该是刚死不久。
小陈，报案的人是谁？
是这个建筑工地的工人，他们晚上开工，一看这尸体就立刻报警了。
Some workers in safety helmet are inquired by the police not far from us. They're trembling.
这个凶手智力不低啊，每次都选这种荒郊野外下手。
Yeah, it's not a good idea to kill people in heavily populated areas. That's another lesson from this game. Captain Leo takes another look at the dead body.
这个死者好像在哪里见？
他是上个月发生在玉村的连续杀人事件被害者的亲戚，名叫肖春梅，在连海一家服装厂当科长，没有子女。
Garment factory. I'm starting to get a picture of the motive. No children, works in a garment factory, relative of another murder victim. Chen reads from the notebook in his hand.
就是那个，我在肖家的相册里看到过。
I'll bet, this is just my theory, me speaking as Bloodnose, not as China's greatest detective, but I'll bet that she wouldn't let Pudge take the middle lane.
凶手是有针对性
Sure,
的
that's the motive.
作案对象都是那个肖氏家族。
You gotta let Pudge go mid, or he'll throw you off the roof. Happens.
月初那个案件呢？
What about the case early this month?
王局和我说，好像孔晴是那个萧山月的私生女。
Kong Qing is the illegitimate child of Xiao Shanrui.
那不得了了，现在萧氏这一辈儿活着的只剩那个萧山瑞了吧？
Sub 2K MMR as well.
他现在有我们警方保护，应该不会出什么问题。
He'll be
你们
okay.
调查到凶手针对萧氏下此毒手的理由了吗？
他们家族在村里口碑挺好，大儿子以前干过小偷小摸的事情，但现在在连海也算是一个有头有脸的加油站老板，一家子都是本分人。
Gas station
想不
boss.
通为什么
It all goes back to the case of the gas station ghost car. Our destinies are just entwined with the fate of the gas station ghost car.
那私
Okay.
生女一事又怎么说？
It's all coming together. So Kong Qing was the evil gas station manager's illegitimate daughter.
那头我们也调查过，可疑的人也一个个审过去了，犯罪动机是有，但是不在场证明也很充分。
Flip the collar of the dead body's shirt and show the pinprick at the nape to Captain Liu.
看来这个死者死前被注射过什么东西，
什么东西？
八成是肌肉松弛剂，得上解剖台才能说清楚。
Yes, so you just drug him, take him up to the top of the tower, and throw him off. Easy peasy.
那小陈，你明天和小李一起跑一趟附近的医院和药店。
Chen seems
好的
reluctant.
吧？
那老罗，学校那里应该不会有什么问题吧？
Sounded like he's talking to himself. I say nothing but return him a glare. If you don't trust me, why don't you simply send more people to help?
目前只能这样了。
He averts his eyes and mumbles.
至少，在真正的凶手出现之前，只能这样。
Yeah, I mean, if you
队长，
can't find the
交管局刚刚
murderer,
发来消息，附近几条路的监控录像已经传过来了。
all you can do is talk to the traffic management station and make sure that all the traffic keeps going smoothly.
那
He looks at me cautiously.
先带我去看一下。
Okay.
你们其他人，清理一下现场，把这几个工人带到局里去做笔录。一会儿记者该来了，那群家伙看见尸体就像秃鹰一样兴奋。
Journalists are terrible. If only we lived in a country where police were allowed to control the media. Okay, we're on to October 12th. So, I'm going to let this be the end of this week's case. How long have we been going? An hour and 15 minutes? Yeah, this is a good place to stop it. Oh, and it looks like I'm about to be Liu Jing and have more fear of open spaces, so that should be a fun thing to come back to next week. Or maybe I can't even see the menu. Alright, I guess we're going to keep playing until I can get the menu again, because this game sometimes just chooses when you can actually open the options menu. So we'll get to a point when I can do that again. Apparently this is not one. As the train is not past Plaza Station, the carriage is comparatively empty. I sit alone in the corner with the oil paper umbrella holding tightly in my hands. As there are other girls on the campus that take oil paper umbrellas, it should not be quite strange. This kind of situation annoys me so much. Because I have special preference to the vintage things, I pay attention to something with ancient flavor. I could always find some kind of sense of belonging from those nostalgic things in the warm atmosphere. The oil paper umbrella was purchased in a store called Raindrops Hall. It is located just by the river at a small town in the south region of Yangtze River when I visited there with my parents. I think holding an oil paper umbrella in rainy days is full of taste, but I'm worried that the surroundings would laugh at me as I'm different. They could just say parasol. Parasol, that's an oil paper umbrella, right? By the way, the first time I met him is also during the journey. Okay. So this is Liu Jing being romantically interested in Duanmu Fei. As we all know, he is China's greatest detective, and he's very, very handsome. Welcome to the Lianhai Metro Line 2. This train is for Hai Xingwan to Lianhai University of Political Science and Law, and the terminal is Gangchu. The next station is Plaza Station. Okay. Among the influx of many passengers, there are two girls who seem to be of the same age. I can feel their eyesight. Do I look very strange with the parasol, or the paper bag that I carry very conspicuously? In the paper bag, there is a fresh-made custard pudding. I have no idea if he likes it or not. After getting off the train, I'd better send an email to ask. I cannot help but hold the umbrella
早上好
harder.
啊，刘姐。
The girl next to me suddenly waves her hand and greets me. But I feel extreme anxiety when people talk to me, because I'm like that, apparently. As it is too sudden, I do not know how to reply. When someone says hello to me, all I do is seize up and hold my umbrella
哎
tighter.
呦，你太热情了，会吓到人家的。
The girl next to me says in a tone of complaint. They appear to know me. I steal glances at them, back and forth, carefully with my head down. They seem to be my classmates?
早上好。
I squeeze a smile that is hardly a smile.
哎，但是你以前不坐地铁上学的吧？今天这是怎么了？最近父亲比较忙，所以……哇，小锦的父亲还会送你上学吗？真是个称职的父亲呢。
That is a very competent father. Yes, indeed. Yeah, see, normally I have to internally monologue for about 20 minutes or so before I do anything. It is strange of me at this age to have my father pick me up. In fact, my father is very different from what they called a competent father in my heart. I could not have many chances to get along with him except for when he picks up. My father is called Liu Zhengqing. Oh, see, it all comes together, right? So her father is the captain of the criminal police. In this name, my grandfather seems to show his hope that my father could grow into a simple, honest, and resolute man. Perhaps my father chooses to become a police more or less because of the influence of this name. Thinking about these sorts of things, I become gradually immersed in my own world. These two classmates next to me do not try to talk to me anymore and turn to discuss other
很
topics.
奇怪吧？受孔晴的那个事件影响，现在学校里每天都会有警车在四周来回巡逻。
Zheng means like, if it's the Zheng I'm thinking of, I haven't seen the characters, but like Zhengli means like righteousness. Zhengque means like correct. Zheng means like something that is right. And Qing can be like clear, pure. So like correct and pure.
不，与其说是奇怪，倒不如说是与调查自杀事件的气势不相符吧。也就是说，你听说了吗？那个孔晴的父亲啊，是北药大的高层人士啊。
NCPU. Do I have something in my thing? Oh, right. I can't even look at my thing because I'm not Duanmu Fei. I think I can only open the options menu when I'm
北
Duanmu
药
Fei.
大
Great.
是指华北药科大学吗？
Oh, there we go. North China Pharmaceutical University.
哎，那还能是哪里？这可不得了，听起来这不就变成了校际争端了吗？而且啊，还有更不得了的事情。
Yes, we can only expect
听
that these
说
two schools will have a
孔
gang
晴
war
是他
against
父
each
亲
other
亲
now.
生的。嘘，这个可不能瞎说。哎，因为那个孔晴的父亲娶妻的时候已经60岁了。
And 60-year-old people don't have kids. That would be weird.
等会儿，但是，哎，最不冷静的是你吧？那小声一点。那孔晴的母亲，准确的数字我不大清楚啊。据说啊，比男方要小30来岁
A
吧。
successful man who's a president of a university marrying a much younger woman. This sounds like there must be trickery afoot.
这可真是，难怪会有这样的传闻。
Are they talking about the incident happened last Wednesday in our university? As the deceased in this incident was the same department with me, I learned a little from the students around me.
这样的话，那位孔晴的母亲应该会成为案情的关键线索。
It's really weird to me that this left eye is like bright, like it almost looks like she's blind in that eye. I don't know if that's just an effect of like the hair covering it.
倘若死者是被人所谋害，或许针对的就是其母亲。
Yes.
这样考虑的话，或许凶手的范围可以进一步缩小成知道你们所述事实的人。
I'm just kind of losing how this ties in with the video game. Maybe there's more to this case than just one game of Dota.
刘瑾，你在讨论这些事情的时候，还真是能说呢。
This is just rude.
抱歉，
没有，我没有责备你的意思。
Welcome to the Lianhai Subway, Line 2. This train is from Haixing-1 to Lianhai University of Political Science and Law, and the terminal is Gangchu. The next station is Plaza Station. Wait, weren't we just at Plaza Station?
要到站了吧？感觉外面好像要下雨了。你准备了雨伞没？
当然了，我带了2把呢。
Wow, 2 umbrellas. She is
我
prepared.
才注意到，刘瑾你的雨伞式样
Hell
很独特
yeah.
啊。
I got an oil paper umbrella. Isn't it sick? Okay, now it looks like I'm Duanmu Fei again. Maybe now I can actually use the options menu. Yes! There we go.
所以
Okay, now is where I will save my game, and we will continue again next week. Now that we have experienced Liu Jing. And now, how do I actually quit this? I think I just press this button. Am I sure I want to quit? Yes, I am. Okay, check the video game. I will check the video game next time. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Wednesday for Tale of